On this episode of Carnage, we're going to race our 2K challenge cars around the track. We did a thing. We bought 2 cheap cars from Grays Online, found 2 teams, and then gave each of those teams $2,000 each to spend on their cars. We even had some rules, and for the most part, the teams stuck to those rules. Mostly. So, before we head out of the track, let's talk about the budgets. Let's talk about the budget of our AU Falcon. We spent $400 on injectors, we spent $400 on a turbo, we spent $400 on the wiring loom for that Barra ECU. So there's $1,200 straight up. $350 on the manifold was a big chunk of the budget, but it did make our life so much easier. So now we're up to $1,550 and we're starting to go, whoa, but we didn't have to spend too much more after that. I mean, a second-hand map sensor and a fuel reg. We also had to do an oil line for the turbo. There's another $150 and a catch can so we didn't spray oil everywhere. So we're up to $2,200. I mean, we're not counting the intercooler. The intercooler is just a piece of junk that came sitting in the back seat of the Volvo. Intercooler piping, yeah, I guess it's a bit of a grey area because a lot of it was laying in a junk pile in my shed. They came part of a kit that came for Turbo Taxi and we didn't end up using them. Same with the Barra ECU. I basically picked it up off the floor, gave it to Zane. Zane tickled the tune, and then we got 350 kilowatts. That's pretty cool.
All we had to do was go and buy a pedal, which was $50 and a bit of swearing at Jolly's. So
there was the pedal. I forgot the pedal. So we're probably up to, what, $22.50 now?
A little bit, but you know, $50 for a pedal, who cares?
Yeah. But we are pretty close to the budget. But then we put on the dyno and the clutch kind of went.
As everyone predicted.
Yeah.
Everyone.
So the clutch didn't like that, so we ended up having to take a free clutch from Australian Clutch Services, thanks to those guys. And all of a sudden, yes, now we're at 350 rear wheel kilowatts, so that was pretty awesome. And obviously there was a bit of time and mates involved, like the guys at Max Performance helped us a bit, but when you build a car, your mates help.
That's right. It's not that often people just go to a workshop and go, I have a huge budget, make this, or in this case, a very small budget. You incorporate your mates. It's the whole part of the whole experience. You don't just buy absolutely everything off the shelf and just go full bore out with your expenses. You try and reap in as much as you can and just have fun with mates, and that's what we did.
That's right. Building cars with your mates is part of the core hobby. I do like this air intake for the turbo that goes to the headlight.
We basically have a Hellcat now.
It's practically a Hellcat.
In an ideal world, you do other things like brakes, suspension. We haven't touched any of the rest of the driveline other than the clutch, as we just talked about. So that was a bit of a downfall in the end, to be honest, but budget build, and it was a lot of fun.
Choosing a manual, probably not the best option. You know, we had to constantly fight the guys at Max Performance, all wanted to go automatic. They're all like, making it auto, sell the T5. And we could have done that and recouped some of our budget, put an auto in it for less dollars, and it would have been very quick in a straight line. But, you know, we chose auto versus manual for a reason. So, hey, it's all part of the adventure. So, now we'll have Bubba explain his budget.
Budget? What budget? Oh, the $2,000 budget. Yeah, about that.
So Bubba, how did you go with your budget? Where do you reckon you spent your $2,000?
Oh, mainly on food and alcohol, to tell you the truth. Oh, and we spent a little bit on the VT as well.
I've seen you guys in action. I totally believe that.
Yeah, but it was well worth it.
All right, pop the bonnet. Let's have a look. What cost what?
Ooh, well, that's a bit of a grey area, really.
No, it's silver.
Well, the grey area part is, if you remember the rules, you didn't say anything about that I couldn't supply my own parts. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but don't I have a 5 litre at home, and I've been building a 5 litre for all my bloody
Probably
life.
wasn't the intent, and yeah, well, I guess we probably should have specified that in the rules.
No.
Okay.
All right, so let's open the book. The Carby manifold and distributor. I got that because I swapped some mufflers.
They must have been some gold-plated mufflers.
Well, they were hookers. So I got them, and that cost me next to nothing. So straight away, I'm in front. I still had my $2,000.
Yeah.
Oh, after we brought all that meat, it kind of went downhill.
Yeah.
So that's what that's taking it off. Now Speed Pro, without Speed Pro sponsoring us a whole lot of stuff, we wouldn't be here right now. So they sponsored us the spacer plate, spark plugs, all like your little odds and ends. Gaskets, head gaskets. Oh, we paid for their gaskets actually, paid for them. Nitrous, that was all for free if you remember correctly. Helen Performance.
Yeah, yeah.
They sponsored us that.
Their little spare parts
Yep,
box.
because they're all nitrous people. So that was just laying around. We put a second-hand cam in it. We had Rob Stoker supply the heads. They did, a bit of machine work and what have you on them.
Yep.
I think that cost us a whole $70. But we spent money on the diff, don't forget.
Yeah, you spent a lot more on your driveline than we did. We concentrated very much on the engine bay.
Yep.
You spent it all the way through the driveline.
Correct, because to make this, with a VT 5 litre, you need to spend more money elsewhere. So the diff, that was $500, and everyone's like, oh, how can you do a diff $500? We had to trade in the other diff for that.
That was a 308 limited slip as
Correct.
well. So yeah,
It was worth good money.
Yeah.
This one has gears and spool in it, so we had to swap that.
Yep.
The converter we were lucky enough to get for free as a sponsorship deal. Like, that's awesome. The gearbox, if you remember watching when they built the transmission, they didn't even wash it. It was just pull it apart, put new clutches in it, different valve body to make it so it's manual shift, and away it went. So it's all budget built. Did we go over the $2,000? Oh, with all the junk food and stuff we probably did, and all the entertainment of building the car.
All right, so what about that MSD? Like, everyone thought you bought a dodgy one in the car park.
Yeah, well, the MSD come from a good mate of mine, Chachi. So I know it looked bodgy, but it wasn't dodgy, even though he looks dodgy. I mean, who calls that kid Chachi anyway? But no, that was a good mate of mine. So we got that for $100.
So that was just for comedic value.
That was just for me being shits and giggles,
So I'm going to give you 50 for the fuel system, 50 for the MSD, but I've got a catch. We're actually going to go go-karting, and I don't have shoes, so that's all right. Have you got some shoes for No. Here you go. What do you got for us? What deals you got for us today?
You wouldn't trust him as far as you could throw him. I mean, Chachi, who calls him Chachi? But no, that was not bodgy. That's legit. So yeah, just make that clear for the haters as well.
There you go. Well, all right. Now we've gone some way to explaining that. Let's head to the track and race these things.
Game on.
We are at Bryant Park today, or Haunted Hills as it's also known. Eastern Melbourne, where the weather is wonderful. It's like 5 degrees and been bucketing rain all morning. Bubba, what do you reckon?
It's a little bit nipply. The chicks, when they rock up in their bikinis, are going to be in for a big surprise, I think. Yeah.
High beams on.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, what we're going to do is finish off the 2K challenge. The AU won the dyno, the VT won the drags. We are neck and neck. It's all going to be decided here and now on this very damp track.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
I know. So we reckon the plan is that we're going to do 3 laps each.
Yep.
We're going to have to self-time it because we haven't got the timers set up today, but we'll self-time it and then maybe we'll have a bit of a play.
I'm down for that. Are you ready? Ready? missing the gear. He wouldn't feel stupid at all. Well, he got second gear, but he stuffed up the start. Gentlemen, this is the last run. And go! Well, KAN didn't crash it, so that's pretty exciting. That just leaves you, Scotty. Make us proud. Or me.
Alright. 3, 2, 1, go! That man has no fear. Don't care, win, lose, whatever. I'm just out here to have fun. I mean, because that's what this is all about. It should be fun. Everyone takes it a little bit too serious on the internet. For us, it's just fun.
All right, 1, 2, 3, go! What do we call that?
Nice. Are they going to restart that?
Hey?
Tell them to restart that one.
1, 2, 3, go! Ah, Scotty. Come on, mate, impress me. Put it on its roof.
Whoa, that was exciting.
You ready? 1, 2, 3, go!
Alright, last one for fun. This is not the day or the track to be doing this. So sketchy.
1, 2, 3, go! They all look the same. Shit!
I don't think I was fast, but I didn't come off the track.
We have finished up the 2K challenge here. We went into this level pegging it. AU won the dyno, Commodore won the drags. Well, definitely a quicker car down the track, even though it only went down the track once, but that's all right. We all had laps today and we had a lot of fun. I think we can all agree on that.
Most definitely.
So the results of today were, KANE's total was 161.57. KIAN came in at 154. BUBBA came in at 146.
Hey!
And then I come in at 158. So the totals were, you guys finished up with 308.
Good number.
Who would have thought?
How's that?
Yeah, boy.
3 hours 8 seconds, we were 312 seconds. So it was actually pretty tight in the end, but you guys have won. Congrats.
Thank you very much.
Well done.
Thank you very much. And thank you for the opportunity. We've had an absolute ball. Can't wait for the next one.
So Bubba, you had a drive of the AU today, what'd you think?
Wow. It actually is a drift machine. It's got way too much power for what it is. And every time it comes up on boost, it wants to drift. It is a drifter.
Yeah, I think it just needs a spool just to make it a little bit more consistent in how it steps out.
Maybe lower it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it is sitting up a bit like a tractor.
It is a drifter.
Yeah.
So yeah, had a lot of fun, thank you.
I think everyone can agree that we've built a couple of very cool budget cars, very close in performance, and they've been very popular, so I think we're going to take them both further, and you will see them both on future episodes of Carnage.
You're gonna have to get right in.